Hello, hockey fans. My name is David. I thought I would begin this video uh, at 5:45 on the afternoon of Monday, 27th of March, 2023, North American Eastern Time. Thought I would do is in this video discuss my concerns of those NHL teams based in Canada that, if not already in playoff spots, still have a chance of getting into them. At least that are, I mean, that are, under 10 points out of them at Ilsvar. So, what I would do is discuss. First, the thought I would do is go to the latest NHL standings as of the NHL's own website. So, all right, there we go. So let's see here. So we'll start with the Western Conference, and Canadian teams. We have Canucks, kind of getting ground, but still over 9 points out. The Oilers look like they have a good chance of finishing in the top three, Pacific Division spot. The Jets, having struggled to score goals, are in a wild card spot, 85 points. Probably, find it hard to get back into a top three Central Division spot. Going to the Eastern Conference, we have a Habs squad that hasn't done great in its last 10. Probably eliminated any day now. And we have the Leafs with the Panthers. So in terms of actually clinching a top three divisional spot, should be able to do so relatively soon. Home advantage, whatever. Let's take a look at that there, and I have concerns about the Leafs, but we'll find out relatively soon. So Panthers can earn not more than 97 points. All right, so 73. All right, so 79. That's 97. So Leafs really only need one more point, and they clinch. Top three divisional spot. Panthers probably not going to catch up anyway, because the Panthers have to get all those points. The Leafs have to lose in regulation all the remaining games. I don't see that scenario happening, so therefore the Panthers, best case scenario, can hope for a wild card spot. Sens are so far back. See if they can. And I'm just going to show a more condensed version. It's easier to do because the ESPN. What the ESPN doesn't do though, you say, the team has lost this many games in overtime or shootouts, whatever. But again, you can see there, ESPN shows teams that have already been eliminated, and it's playoff spots are being clinched, or these teams are being eliminated, and so again, thought I would do is go to the TV schedule. So, alright, or better yet, just first to go to games to be played. Games to be played up to and including Sunday. So what I'm going to do is going to go to the NHL standing. I'm going to do games played. Going to be played. So we have 3 Canadian teams in action. Games start later Monday Eastern Time. Tuesday, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the Leafs and Sens won't be in action. On Wednesday, the Leafs will be the only Canadian team to be in action. Thursday, alright, so we're going to see here. We have 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we have the Habs, Sens, and Oilers in action. So 3. Friday, which is the very last day of March. Alright, so we're going to just go. Alright, come on here. Alright. Oh, come on. Alright, you just go. I'm just going to apologize for technical difficulties. Just going to try to do this. Going to try to go to another browser. See. Alright, never mind. Alright, never mind. So it's gonna. Alright, so what we're gonna do is you have the Jets, Flames, and Canucks in action on last day of March Eastern Time. Saturday. Let's just see here. We're gonna have the Habs, Leafs, Oilers in action. And to end off the coming weekend, let's see here. You're going to have the Sens, Leafs, Jets, Flames, and Canucks in action. So I'm going to stop there for the moment. So I'm just going to go back to current day, which is 27th March Eastern Time, and I'm going to go to now to just to recap. There are 3. There will be 3 Canadian teams in action. So now I'm going to go to the TV broadcast schedule, and then I'll do that. So I'm going to do on Sportsnet on the regional channels, and on channel 1 we have this. So we have only on Sportsnet West the Oilers Coyotes game, and that looks like it's going to be on NHL Center Ice. So that's just to me that outside of the Sportsnet West viewing region, the Oilers Coyotes game will be blacked out, or unless there's a valid subscription by a subscription holder to a TV package that allows viewing of so-called quote-unquote out-of-market games. So yes, so now I'm going to express my own concerns about various playoff teams based on the number of points. So what I'm going to do is going to go to. So what I'm going to do is So now what I'm going to go to the various teams here. Okay, just give me a moment here. Oh, come on. Just, alright. Alright, give me a moment here. Just going to see if I can. Oh, okay. What I'm going to I'm going to. Alright, just give me a moment. Okay, never mind. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just going to. So during the month of March, Leafs have a record of 7-5-0-1 with respect to wins and regulation, overtime, and shootout losses. That's good enough for 15 points over 13 games. And that's good enough for how many points is it there? So let's see here. All right, so let's see here. So we have this month. Leafs have a rather unimpressive point percentage of 57.69, round to the nearest hundredth of a percentage point. So going into the postseason, there's definitely concerns about, secondary scoring. Indeed, this month, how many times have the Leafs given up, scored at most 2 goals? That was against the Oilers. They end up losing in regulation. Calgary Flames, Leafs end up winning in regulation. They end up losing to the Canucks 4-1. So that's 1 and 2. 1, 2, 0, and 1. Leafs scored under 3 goals. 1, 2, 0, and 1. 1, 3, 0, and 1. Via 7-2 loss. 1, 2, 0, and 1. Alright, you want 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 3. So 1, 3, 0, and 1. Leafs have been when they have scored fewer than 3 goals. That's right. So when the Leafs have scored a minimum of 3, 1, 3, that's 6. Leafs have gone 6, 2, 0, and 0 when they have this month scored at least this many goals. What about the Leafs have allowed at least this many goals? And they've done so a lot. Alright, 0 and 1, 0 and 2. 2 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 3, 3 and 4, 3, 5, 0 and 0. So that means when the Leafs have allowed no more than 2 goals, they've gone 4, 0, 0 and 1. Yeah, the Leafs couldn't find a way to beat Alexander Georgiev of the Avs more than once. And that included shootout. Well, the Avs scored only 1 goal. The problem with the Leafs is that when they have, Leafs have yet to lose a game in regulation when they have allowed fewer than 3 goals in a game. So yeah, a little bit of concerns about Leafs have played 13 games and so yeah, 5 of them they've scored fewer than 3 goals. It's when they've allowed at least 3 when they have failed, and they have not, so slightly bigger concern for the Leafs is defense, and it hasn't been good this month too often. To be fair, Matt Murray has allowed, let's go back to January. Goaltending is also a concern. Joseph Woll was quite impressive against the Preds, and I feel legitimately he should be. Legitimately he should be in the convo for next season as a more frequently used backup. Against the Kraken, Matt Murray, an oft-injured goalie, when he'd been with the Sens after his stint with the Pens, from January hasn't done very well. So, start for Murray was, January was 3 out of the goals allowed against the Kraken, so that was a loss. In partial mitigation, not enough of his teammates scored. Well, Leafs scored only 1 goal. The next 2 starts for Murray were rather impressive. On the 8th of January away against the Flyers, and then 2-1 at home to the Preds. So yeah, Murray had to be good. Well, Murray had to be particularly good against the Preds because, well, his own teammates didn't scored barely enough goals to win. But then it was allowed an ugly goal against the Bruins, if that could count. So then allowed at least another ugly goal against the Panthers. So that's 1, 2, 3 out of 5 starts he made in January before down goals to injury. Didn't do very well. February, Murray did not start any game or finish it. And Murray did not return until against the Canucks, and it was not very good. 2 ugly goals against the Canucks, and then against the Oilers, 3 ugly goals. Against the Sabres, 2 ugly goals. And then in a shootout win, 2 ugly goals against the Panthers. Murray allowed 2 goals in total. Against the Canes, Murray allowed 2 ugly goals that I could count. So what does that say? It takes too long for Murray to get in the rhythm. I understand that it's been inconsistent scoring behind him. I mean, the Canucks, Leafs only managed to score 1 goal on Thatcher Demko, and I believe, it was Thatcher Demko, and but again, Murray, against the Oilers, Leafs did score more than enough goals to win, but Murray allowed 2 ugly goals, bad goals, of shots he should have stopped, and Leafs almost came back to win against the Sabres, but still, it's just, I have concerns about goaltending for the Leafs. I think that Sheldon Keefe would be dumb as a doorknob to use Matt Murray in any game going forward, unless it happens to be a pairing of games, to be played on back-to-back Eastern time, back-to-back calendar days Eastern time, and there's still 2 sets of games left the coming weekend, and during the 10th and 11th of April, Eastern time. So, coming weekend will be away against the Sens, and then against the Red Wings at home. Hopefully, the Leafs will manage to get at least 3 points out of a possible 4. Postseason, the only two playoff series in recent memory that I can recall, Leafs having played on consecutive calendar days Eastern time, were in 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs. The Leafs played, I believe it was games 3 and 4. That was in a so-called COVID bubble because of cases, because of there not being a vaccine, and thus a lot of local residents not having had a chance to get a vaccine against to mitigate damage, to mitigate the risk of hospitalization from the virus. Thus, it was prudent for the NHL to say no fans allowed. And 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs, the Leafs played games on consecutive evenings Eastern time at the Bell Center, winning both of them. The first of those 2 games barely, and then they shut out the Habs 4-0. Should have been its own series is over. Well, we know what happened. So again, I don't think the Leafs are going to be playing consecutive games. Just 1 point means or the Panthers lose. And we'll have to see what happened here. So, alright, so what we're going to do is just see what they have here. So I may be rooting for the Senators tonight. So, yeah. So, given what the standings are in terms of, getting clinched the playoff spot out of their system. Yeah, okay, so the Panthers, the Panthers at 79 points need to win all 9 of the remaining games. A loss, and they're not going to catch the Leafs for a top 3 divisional spot, and that means the Leafs will clinch a top 3 divisional spot, to be determined whether the Leafs will end up getting home ice advantage, which is looking pretty good right now because Tampa Bay Lightning have lost 4 games in a row, all in regulation. Yeah, I may be rooting for the Senators tonight because the Florida Panthers are in that position. So yeah, I'm gonna root for the Sens. Let's see what they do. Doesn't mean the concerns aren't there. I'll get to the Sens in a moment, but thought I would do next is go to the next team, team with the next highest number of points, the Edmonton Oilers. And on that count, keep in mind that tonight's game will be against the Coyotes, but we all know it's been kind of a topsy-turvy season for the Oilers. The question, I think, is going to be whether the Oilers will clinch a top 3 Pacific Division spot or end up in 4th, most likely. Flames have, you know, 8 games left they have to play. Get as many as 97 points, but probably not going to be enough to clinch. But who knows? Flames will not be in action on this Monday evening Eastern Time. So what I'm going to do is go to Edmonton Oilers. Have been on a roll this month, having put up in their in 12 games 19 points. Very good. And 91. Leafs have 97. The Oilers have 91. So very good. The Oilers may overtake the Leafs for in terms of points, but not easy to do. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a back-to-back. It's going to be on this on games to start on Monday and Tuesday evenings this week Eastern Time. It's going to be a two-peat, and then we'll effectively then to end off March will be kind of there. It will be. So yeah, so it's going to be, it's going to be 3 games in 4 nights. So a mini road trip to Arizona and southern Nevada. So this evening Eastern Time against Coyotes at Mullet Arena, and then over at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and then it's in the theme of hosting teams from the southern part of the contiguous U.S. We have the Kings flying into Edmonton to face the Oilers. And then next month we have the Oilers hosting the Ducks before flying right back down for a 4-game road trip. So the 1st of April is a Saturday. Then next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, will be stops in, respectively, at Crypto.com Arena to face the Kings and the Honda Center to face the Ducks. Before the second weekend from now, the what's called the Western Easter weekend, of continuing their theme of playing in California and playing in the southwest of the contiguous U.S. by heading to the San Francisco Bay Area to face the San Jose Sharks. And then it's 3 nights later, 3 calendar days later Eastern Time, it's to fly to Denver to face the local Avalanche squad. And they end off their season, the Oilers end off their season hosting the Sharks. To be determined will be for the first round series whether the Oilers will start at Rogers Place or will do so please somewhere in the contiguous U.S. I don't think the Oilers will rise high enough to face a Canadian team, and anyway. So what do the Oilers do? So the Oilers have done pretty good. So when the Oilers have scored a maximum of 2 goals, hasn't happened so far. So now we go to when the Oilers have allowed a minimum of 3, which did against the Jets on the 3rd of March in a home game. So 6-3, and then 7-5 loss. It's Winnipeg. So 1-1. 1-2. The Oilers against the Leafs. So 1-2. Then beat the Sens 6-3. So that's 2-2. 3-2 after the Oilers beat the Kraken 6-4. All right. So 1. All right. 1-0. 1-1. 1-2. 2-2, 3-2, 5-2. So 5-2, 1-0. Pretty impressive when they have, the Oilers have won all 4 games during which they've surrendered at most this many goals. So the Oilers have had to do well. But will their defense hold up? I mean, when the Oilers have allowed a minimum of this many goals, oh boy, things haven't not necessarily gone that well. So against the Jets, the Oilers allowed, wait for it, 7 goals. Yeah, Jack Campbell, a sieve for the Oilers. Quite a few ugly ones there. So yeah, there we go. So then it was against the Leafs. It was a boatload of goals. Stuart Skinner. So that's okay. So that's 0-2 when the Oilers have allowed a minimum of 4. So that's there. So 0-2, and then against the Kraken allowed 4. So that's 1-2. And then against the Sharks, allowed 4 goals. So that's 2-2. And the Golden Knights 2-2, 1-0. Yeah, when the Oilers are giving up at least this many goals, they haven't done as well. Have earned 5 out of a possible 10 points. That's not good. Goaltending and defense, I think, are big concerns for the Oilers. I think, those concerns are each bigger than, offense. Leafs have had problems secondary scoring, but again, whatever. So, I'm going to go to the other teams. How have the Jets been doing? Well, I'm not sure what the latest video released by the Peg City Hockey YouTube band, who I believe is based in Burnaby, in Lower Mainland of British Columbia, but there's no doubt that the last... Alright, so what I'm going to do is do this here. Do the mobile version of Wikipedia, just going through the Winnipeg Jets latest season. So, Blake Wheeler, winger, was a long-time winger, was, stripped of his captaincy after many seasons by then new head coach Rick Bowness. At one time also a coach of the Ottawa Senators. Well, the one Sens franchise founded in the 1990s. So yes, when it comes to there's no doubt that these Jets have had a rough go. So what I thought I would do is figure out how they've been doing. So, preseason they did amazing. 4-1-0-1 record. Thinking things are looking good. Faced the Oilers, Sens, Habs, and Flames. So they did have to travel quite a few, one time zone over. All games they played in Canada within their own time, either, and if they didn't play it, either there was one time zone to the Eastern time zone, or, Mountain time zone. So, then, October was okay. Not the best, but still, not too much to complain about. November, they went on a roll. 9-3-0-0. Did do as well on the road, but they didn't play as many games on the road. So, pop the points. December was kind of meh. 9-7-0-0. One game above any, over, slightly over half the available points in each at home and on and away. January struggles on the road continued. Hadn't done great on the road in any of the prior 3 months of the regular season. Home was continued to be home sweet home for the Jets. And there's some notable away losses. We have the Wings 7-5 at the January Eastern time. The Habs Leafs 4-1 each. They were a shutout against. Oh, I don't know about here. So, Preds was a close one at 2-1 in regulation. Ouch. Kind of hurts the Jets didn't get a point there. But then February and March. February was not a very good month. We played 8 games, keeping in mind there was an all-star break from, for a bit over a week. And then after your all-star break, and I'm thinking, things are looking good. They hadn't played consecutive games. They wouldn't play consecutive games till 19th and 20th of that month. But it was a mixed bag there. 3-1, 16th of February against the Blue Jackets over at Nationwide Arena in the central Ohio city of Columbus, which also happens to be the state capital. And then, against the Devils, 4-2. The Jets ended up going 1-3-0-0 on the road in February. So road record, not good. And shootout loss. Wow. Defense just went down the toilet in a lot of games. So when the Jets managed to score a maximum of 2 goals, there's only one game in which they allowed fewer than 3. That was a 2-1 regulation loss to the Isles at UBS Arena. So what concern do I have the Jets? Well, scoring has been a problem. A lot of those games, 3-1, 4-2, 2-1, 5-1, 4-0. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 games in February, they went 0-5 when the Jets managed to score fewer than this many goals. They lost in regulation this many times, and that was the number of games which the Jets end up scoring under 3 goals. 5 of those games. What happened when the Jets allowed this many goals at most? So, let's see here. So, 11th of February, so that was a win. 14th against the Kraken, that was a win. Against Rangers, it was a win. The Isles, it was a loss, so 3-1, 3-1-0-0. Yeah, 3-1-0-0. So that was 0-4-0-1 when they allowed at least this many goals. So what happened if the Jets allowed at least this many goals in February? Oh boy, things didn't go well. Oh, they lost to the Devils 4-2. So, 0-3-0-1. Yikes, that's not good. Oh, the defense is a lot better. Not then. March has been an improvement. Jets proportionately earned more points when they were away from Canada Life Centre, what's known as Bell MTS Place, than when the Jets played in their own building. So during March, Jets played 7 games away from home and 5 games at home. So, So, was scoring an issue? Yeah, there were quite a few games when the Jets scored no more than this many goals. So what happened when they scored a maximum of... What's happened so far this month when the Jets have scored this many goals at most? So, go to... Alright, so overtime loss to the Sharks, 0-1-0. 0-1-1-0. 0-2-1-0. There was a shutout loss. 0-3-1-0. 1-3-1-0. 1-4-1-0. Ugh. Yuck! So, 5-1-0-0 when the Jets scored at least 3 goals. The problem is, the LA Kings, the Jets looked kind of punchless. And there was a Blake Lizotte 5-minute major that got the Kings guy ejected from that game, and I believe it was a 1-game suspension. Whether Lizotte should have been suspended more games, we can go on and on. It was a hit on Josh Morrissey, a cross-check to the head. But I think, the bare minimum, Lizotte deserved a 1-game suspension. But again, on that Jets scored a goal on that power play. I kind of forget. Okay, let me just go back here. All right, I'm gonna go back a couple back there, couple nights ago or whatever, afternoons ago. Forget what it was, the box score. So what I'm gonna do there. So, all right. So let's see here. All right. So let's go here. So that game, it was a road game against Kings. Look at there. The Jets allowed, the Jets were shorthanded only on 2 occasions in the game. The Kings scored on one of them, but even if the Kings hadn't, it wouldn't have mattered a great deal because the Jets ended up losing anyway. Yeah, let's look at the goals here. So Pierre-Luc Dubois on the power play. So 18:37 into the second period. When was the penalty? 14:10. So the Jets only scored well into their power play. Well into it. Couldn't get anything going in the first 2 minutes. If it had been a 2-minute power play, probably the Jets wouldn't have scored. That was the only goals the Jets would score, and well, it's not good. So I've got concerns about scoring, ability to score goals, ability to defend. Hasn't been great either. So it's going to take place. The next game is going to be on Tuesday. Going to be Tuesday Eastern Time. At the at least it's going to start on Tuesday Eastern Time at the SAP Center, named after a German high-tech company. I believe SAP is a German company, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so that was there. Alright, so Tuesday, Jets and Sharks going to be broadcast scheduled to start 10:30 Eastern on the relevant TSN channel. Sportsnet shows under its scores, hockey scores for Tuesday Eastern Time, as to be broadcast on Sportsnet Now Premium. Well, I haven't figured out how to get Sports Now Premium to work, but I'd really hope to watch one of the two games between the Sens and Red Wings, which was partially blacked out by TSN. Tried to access it through my NHL Center Ice subscription, but could only access a portion of that game. Why? I couldn't do it. Tried to get Sportsnet Now Premium. Couldn't configure it out. Couldn't configure Sportsnet Now Premium to show that game, but yeah, I think I'll just stick to NHL Center Ice, and thankfully I got the subscription for Sportsnet Now to expire in February next year, and won't make another payment. Thank goodness for that. So it gave you on TSN, and I'll just go there. And NHL Center Ice, best decision I made, to not miss out on Canadian teams, particularly after the 2020-2021 season that saw all Canadian teams, bar the Habs, play each other exclusively. Habs ended up playing the Golden Knights and Bolts respectively in the Stanley Cup semifinal and final rounds, after having beaten the Leafs and Jets en route to a Stanley Cup semifinal. So we're going to go back to Monday, and so the Winnipeg Jets. So how many games do they have left? So Jets have we have 8 games to go. So again, we have so Tuesday Eastern Time against the Sharks, and then the very end of the month against the Red Wings at the Canada Life Center, and then basically Jets have a huge homestand, so that begins on the 31st of March, ending on the 10th of April. So that's 5 straight home games, and then they go on the road for 2 games against the Wild at the XL Energy Center, and then further to the south at Ball Arena in Denver. So it's going to be interesting to find out what happens. But again, these Jets, I've got Hellebuyck is pretty much the only one who's the team getting them going here. So what's Hellebuck's record here? All right, so yeah, the majority of the games. The problem is that David Rittich hasn't been as good. It's been rather inconsistent. On the other hand, it is important to keep in mind that Hellebuyck may not be enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to what I like handy about Wikipedia the Wikipedia article on last few Wikipedia articles on last few Maple Leafs seasons is records against various teams, including Canadian ones. So now I'm going to go to third on points. We have, so cover the Oilers, cover the Leafs, Oilers, and Jets. So now to go to the Flames. I'm just going to check for a moment here where the Flames are in the standings here. Flames have 81 points after 74 games. Sens have 75 points after 73. So I'm going to do the Flames next. So I'm going to do the Calgary Flames next. Calgary Flames. So, yeah, could be a rather crucial game coming up against the Calgary Flames. So, yeah. Flames have... Alright, we'll go here. Yeah. 5th of April at Canada Life Center. So, we'll see if it happens. Now we'll go for the Calgary Flames perspective. Is their season done? Well, not yet. Alright, I could go with the Calgary Flames and figure out what their schedule happens to be. So, what consider I have? Scoring has been a problem. I mean, it's been kind of choppy season. 5-2-0-0 to start off, the season. But the 29th of October Eastern Time was the start of, a losing streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of a 7-game losing streak that helped pull the Flames out of a playoff spot, to being out of one. Although the Flames have earned, haven't had a points percentage below 50.0 since after the game played on 10th, that started on 10th of November Eastern Time. Now that I can tell anyway. The problem with the Flames is that the points haven't come quickly enough. February was not very good. Ended up struggling at home. Flames ended up 4 points and 4 points over 5 games, so 2/5 of the available points, so 40.0 points percentage. On the road, it was a 50.0 point percentage, so understandably the Flames struggled. In March, the Flames haven't done great either, so that's 6-5-2-0. At home, the Flames, so far have struggled mightily. Away from home, they've been on a roll. So played 6 games, each at home and away. So after 6 games, the Flames have 4 points. 4 points at home, so that means a third of the available points. But on the road, Flames have been absolutely amazing. All right, so you here 10 points over 6 games. So 5/6 of the available points in those away games. So Road Warriors, and the Flames are going to need them against the Canucks, because that's going to be on 31st of March Eastern Time. The game that starts then to be determined what exactly it's going to be. And then we have, let's see about, we have here, Flames have 8 games to go. After those 8 games, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of their last 8 games are at home. And home is where the Flames have not exactly done well this season. Haven't done great. So they're going to have to turn things around at home. We'll see what happens. But again, Flames certainly got to prepare to put up a much better effort against the Kings when the Kings come into Calgary. 8-2 was a huge loss. There's no doubt these Flames got to play a lot better. But who knows if they will? We'll find out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go to the Senators. So, yeah. Lack of scoring, goaltending not been the best. I have concerns about them, for the Flames if they actually get into the postseason. Let's see about the Senders. So after last preseason, the Sens have, well, they had an okay October. I mean, not great. And November they didn't do great. Well, December was quite good by comparison. January was okay. February they went on a roll. March they kind of cooled off a little bit. They've had trouble scoring. They've had trouble defending. And yeah, they got 2 important games coming up against the Panthers and Flyers. Win both games, and Sens could be closer to a playoff spot. But Sens lose either game, and it could be over. I mean, the Sens, bad enough, are 7 points back of the Pens for that final playoff spot. So that's going to be a key thing. So again, so it's going to be rather important. And then the Sens have so home game. April we have 1, 2, 3. 3 games at home and 4 on the road, kind of almost even split. So could be too late. Leafs Sens have had goaltending issues. Depth has been an issue. Quality has been an issue. So that's basically it for the for the playoff teams, or teams that have a legitimate shot. The Habs are probably going to be eliminated any day now. I mean, look at the you look at the NHL standings, and the Penguins have 82 points. The Habs can earn no more than that many. And only then, if the Habs win all their remaining games, who knows if that's going to happen. And, well, yeah. No games against the Pens, but, well, probably not going to happen. And, yeah, I'm going to go to, let's see here, the Canucks. Alright, I'm going to address the Canucks, and just give me a moment here. Alright. Alright, so what I'm going to do is try to... Oh, come on. Oh, really? Canucks. So, Canucks are likely to finish in 6th in their own division. And, but again, still got, still 12 points behind the Jets for that second wild card spot. Canucks can earn no more than 91 points. So it'll probably be pretty soon, maybe this week or next, the Canucks will be eliminated from any possibility of seeing playoff action. It probably will be. Yes, they're at NHL 500. They've earned half the available points. But again, it's, well, even with an impressive record this month, it's been kind of not great. So October was quite a disaster. 2-5, 2-0. November 7-6-0-1, so not great. 7-6-0-0 December. 4-9-0-0 January, that was pretty bad. 4-5-1-1 February. March, it's been on a roll. So in their road game on Tuesday Eastern Time against the Blues, well, yeah, Canucks kind of playing out the string, but Demko, Delia, Shilovs, and Martin's been kind of a goalie injuries, and also Demko's poor play to start the season, at the start of the regular season, kind of did the Canucks have helped do the Canucks in. Yeah, maybe next season, but Canucks have a lot of issues. The key will be if they can sustain that momentum into April and beyond. Canucks only have, in terms of games to be played in March, 2 on Tuesday Eastern Time and on Friday. So we'll see what happens. But again, the concerns are real. So among those 5 teams that still have some sort of chance, that are fewer than 10 points out of playoff spots at worst, I'd say Leafs concern are defense and goaltending. In terms of severity of concerns, I would say defense is number one, goaltending is number two, and lack of secondary scoring is number three. In terms of the Oilers, I'd say defense and goaltending are big concerns. Jets, lack of scoring is a big concern. Defense kind of about equal. Scoring, defense are real concerns, because even with Hellebuck, the Jets are barely hanging on, and they may fall off. Who knows? So Calgary Flames, lack of scoring, lack of timely scoring. Goaltending's been a concern. Defense has been a concern. Yeah, kind of about equal. Well, goaltending maybe, defense has been a concern too. So yeah, so we've covered those four, those five. Defense has been a concern for the Sens. Scoring, lack of time scoring, has been a concern. Kind of been, goaltending has been quite a bit of a concern. I mean, it's good that the Sens have, the goaltending depth, because they've had to use a lot of goalies. They used Anton Forsberg before he went down, was one of the main two goalies. Tam Talbot's been, had been in and out of injury, has been in and out of injury stints. So that means they, Sens have had to dig deep into the American Hockey League, Belleville Sens. So yeah, Magnus Hellberg played only one game, and but one goalie who played a minimum, who started at least two. Each of five goalies Sens have used, of those five goalies Sens have used at the NHL level, four, Talbot, Forsberg, Sjogard, and Mandolese, have each started at least 3 games. Hellberg started 1 game and finished it. The others have played. Sjogard came in on relief in one of the 9 games which he had played after last preseason, but before this week. So the others were kind of, Talbot and Forsberg had started games, had started fewer games each than they'd actually played in. One relieving the other. So when it comes to goals against average, among the 4 regulars, Talbot, I'm going to just go to, alright, alright, was the year. At least those that are available as of the 12th of March, okay, it's kind of a little bit out of date. But as of then, yeah, it's been the case. They had a goal against average of 2.85. The lowest among the attendees, and Mandolese the highest at 3.29. Save percentages, the highest among the 4 regulars, Mandolese at 91.6. The lowest, Sjogard 89.4. So it's been all over the map. Defense hasn't been good. Too many shots given up in a lot of games. So let's see what happens. But these stats are slipping. March has been great, and well, they do play Florida Panthers. It's going to be a rather crucial game. If the Sens can hold off the Panthers and win, that means the Leafs clinch, because the Panthers can earn as many points as the Leafs currently have. But the Leafs would also have to lose all the remaining games of regulation. That's not likely to happen. But again, it would be nice to have that distraction off Leafs' shoulders. So I'm really hoping the Sens can do this. But again, you never know. On that note, I'm going to say good evening. And just so again, this is just in summary. This video is about whether I like the Canadian team's chances of any of those Canadian teams that are currently near enough into playoff spots at worst, ending up winning their respective first round series. So I give the Oilers the best chance of winning a playoff series. In terms of the worst, yeah, that's kind of a tie. The Flames and the Sens are out, so they probably are kind of tied for the worst. If they continue to not, if they fail to qualify, they're not going to win a playoff series at all. Jets, I would say, have. Leafs, I would say probably. Yeah, I mean the Jets, I would say probably are not going to last more than 5 games. Leafs really depends. So Leafs, I give the second best odds of winning a playoff series, but only because the Jets, Flames, only because the Jets offense has kind of gone stone cold, and whereas the Leafs has been kind of inconsistent, but not quite as bad as the Jets, and because the Flames and Sens are out of playoff spots altogether, but not yet officially eliminated, or 10 or more points out. So, in summary, I encourage you to click the like button. If you want to subscribe, I encourage you to do so. I try to put out videos at least every other week if I can. I like it very much that there's likely going to be playoff action in Canada. I mean, I think the Leafs are very close to clinching a playoff spot. The Oilers should do so as well. The Jets, we'll see what happens, but probably only at best one of the Jets and Flames will see playoff action this season. Sens are kind of hanging on for dear life. With a 5-7-0-1 record in March, that has meant, in terms of available points earned, here, so 11 out of a possible 13, 11 out of a possible 26 points, so not great. So I'd say that, so if you do subscribe to my channel, you will get more timely notice from YouTube for videos that I have chosen to post. So, on that note, I'm going to say, well, I root for that I hope that during the coming postseason, a Canadian team will win a Stanley Cup, and because the Habs are not likely to qualify, don't have to worry about which ones are non-Habs and which ones are Habs. That's because the Habs have won so many Stanley Cups, more than any Canadian team, following the Leafs' 1967 Stanley Cup win. So I look forward to hopefully seeing a non-Habs Canadian team win it. We'll have to see what happens. Really hoping that that a non-Habs Canadian team will even get into a Stanley Cup final. That'll be good, because the last time that happened was during the 2010-11 season, when the Canucks did, ending up falling to the Bruins in 7 games. On that note, I'm going to say good evening. With it now, with it as of the end of the recording of this video being 6:43 Eastern Time on the evening of the 27th of March, 2023, and go Leafs go.